I will now discuss three theorists that I believe would closely align and really like a lot of aspects of my first grade acrostic poem lesson. So the first theorist that I'm going to talk about is Vygotsky. And Vygotsky believed that social interaction plays a fundamental role in the process of cognitive development. In contrast to Jean Piaget, who thought that development necessarily precedes learning, Vygotsky felt that learning precedes development. And with this, Vygotsky introduced the idea of the more knowledgeable other. And that refers to anyone who has a better understanding than the learner. So in this case, with respect to the particular task of learning about what acrostic poems is, I, as the more knowledgeable other, asked the students to help me come up with an acrostic poem for my name, just to give them a brief idea and kind of show them how to actually make an acrostic poem using their own name. Vygotsky also discussed the concept of the more knowledgeable other, in the sense that I, as the teacher, would kind of gauge the students and give them an example and lead by example, so to say. Vygotsky also talked about the zone of proximal development, which is the distance between the student's ability to perform a task under adult guidance and or with peer collaboration, and the student's ability to solve problems independently. Now, according to Vygotsky, learning occurs in this zone. Vygotsky's theories promotes learning context in which students actually play an active role, and I think that using the students to help me come up with an acrostic poem for my name actually really got them involved in the whole learning process. As a teacher, I always want to collaborate with my students in order to help facilitate meaning construction. And I do believe that I did so, asking the students to help me come up with the correct words and letters to describe me. So in contrast to Vygotsky, Piaget believed that children construct an understanding of the world around them and then experience discrepancies between. So what they already know and what they discover about the environment. Piaget also believed that during the intuitive thought stage, children tend to become very curious and ask many questions. And they begin the use of primitive reasoning. And I really think that the lesson plan that I made really helped the children to be curious and kind of, investigate in terms of finding words that would best describe them. And the third theorist would be Erik Erikson, and he would agree that stage 4 begins and takes place at the age of 6. Now, stage 4 is actually known as industry versus inferiority, which is a constant battle that a child is really experiencing from about the age of 6 to 11. And using clear and definitive rules about expected behavior, such as raising a hand and not calling out, really does help the children kind of gauge that conflict that they experience. Keeping in mind that the language activities also play a main role during this stage, it's important that as a teacher I respond to student responses in a constructive manner.